Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Successful Hairstylist Podcast. I'm Ren Lopa, and today we are covering how to attract the right client. The thing is, when we're working with the right clients, we feel in full alignment with our business. It is easier to show up. We look forward to it. We feel excited about engaging with our clients. We actually feel energized at the end of the day versus totally drained. Also, we get to feel super proud of the work that we're creating day in and day out. Now, contrast this to attracting the wrong kind of client. These are clients that are only coming to see you when you offer a promotion or are begging you for discounts. These are clients that maybe come once a year and then never come back. Or these are clients who just want services that are really kind of outside of your skill set or services you just aren't interested in offering. And what happens when we are working on these clients consistently, we get stuck in a little cycle of not loving it, then the end result isn't great, then the client's upset, then we feel like we're not cut out for this industry, and the cycle continues. It's so important to understand not only just how to attract clients, but how to attract the right client. So let's dive into this. Now, a short disclaimer before we dive in. Look, we all have different times of our career where taking the wrong client is right for us. So maybe you need cash flow. Maybe you really need that extra money coming in. Or maybe you just work somewhere where walk ins and different people get assigned to you. That can be a great boost of income here and there. So, understanding all of this isn't about ever like shaming ourselves or shaming the work that we're doing or the spot we are in our career. It's just about understanding what is possible and opening our minds to if we are going to spend time marketing our business, creating posts, and showing up. And even if we're going to spend our time on ads and our hard earned money, then I want you to know exactly how to create these things and do it in a way that's going to bring you the right people that are really going to support the longevity of your career. Okay, disclaimer over. So, the first step to knowing how to attract the right clients is defining who the right client is. I know, groundbreaking, but so many people that I talk to, so many hairstylists, they don't really know how to define who their dream client is. So I'm going to share some questions you can answer here. And then I'm also going to share some examples of who my dream client was when I was still behind the chair. Okay, so a couple of questions that you can answer to quickly figure out who the right client is for you is what services does she get? So, in an ideal world and in your ideal average ticket fantasy, what services would your client get? What do you enjoy doing? And other than that, what are you really good at? Like, what naturally are you talented at that with the least amount of effort, your clients are super happy and excited? So then you can think about how old this client might be, what life phase she's in, and then what she does in her free time. So these questions should really help you start getting an idea of who this is. And what always worked for me as a hairstylist was being able to picture literal clients that I have that I would love to kind of copy and paste. So the first thing that this makes me think of are my two clients, Shelly and Sheila. Now, I would classify these as my super dream clients. If I could copy and pasted them 100 times, that's what I would have done. And here's what they were dimensional color clients. So, as you're thinking about who your dream client is, I want you to also understand you don't have to lock yourself into blonding. You don't have to lock yourself into vivids or anything specific. You could be a custom color, they could just get and value custom color. For me, it was dimensional color. So Shelly and Sheila were actually both brunettes. And so they noticed their gray coming in very quickly. It was very important to them that that was covered. So we had gray coverage. And then they loved dimensional color. So they wanted their hair to look expensive. And they also loved getting highlights and dimension so that it camouflaged the gray that was coming in. So essentially, their appointments were like one time they would just get gray coverage, haircut, treatments, blowout, etc. And then every other appointment, they would get the partial foil. I would gloss between the foils to keep everything super rich and beautiful with their brunette hair. And that was that. So also, both of these women were actually super chill. They were very calm energies. Shelly would actually like almost zen out and just relax during her appointment. So she wasn't micromanaging me. She wasn't having anxiety about anything. She was very chill. And then both of these clients would say yes to my recommendations. They would take home hair care and they always kept their appointments. So, on top of that, they referred their friends and family to me. And they were just to me like chef's kiss, so perfect, lovely to be around, and easy for me to make happy. As for their lifestyles, they both were older and they had older kids. So their kids were essentially in college and like getting on with their own lives. So they were like empty nesters, super active in their neighborhoods and events. And then even dealing with, some aging parents and different things that happen as we're getting older. So those were my dream clients. And I hope that this example has already sparked a ton of different ideas for you on what your right client might be. So now we can move on to step 2. All right, so the second step to attracting clients who are the right clients for you is to now define who you are. So I have a quick dating analogy, okay? So a lot of times it's really easy for women to say that their ideal man, their ideal partner is going to be 6 feet with a six pack and a six-figure income, okay? We've heard that 1,000 times. But usually that's where it stops, right? Is like we define what we're looking for when really the next step is trying to understand what that person is looking for and doing our best to grow, to build up ourselves so that we are in alignment with what they're looking for. The vice versa of that could be if you realize that the 6 feet, six pack, six figure person isn't going to be attracted to traits that you have and you love about yourself, then now we can work backwards and see what would be in better alignment. So we need to understand how to become the stylist, the person that your right client is going to be so excited to work with, okay? So, how we can start doing this is by thinking, what are your strengths, okay? And what clients can you easily make happy? Like I said, Shelly and Sheila, they were so chill and like not an anxious energy, and it was very easy. I felt very comfortable making recommendations to them, giving them great color and everything like that. So what clients do you easily make happy? What personalities do you easily vibe with? Sometimes we try to force some of these answers because we see what's trending, or we see another hairstylist on Instagram maybe doing something that we think we should be doing now. But I want you to seriously, like, without looking at anyone else, so with no comparison, tap in and think about this for yourself, okay? When you can start to define what you are great at, what makes you different, what sets you apart, this is going to help you again start moving that needle to understand what you should be doing and who you should be looking for in order to build that sustainable career. All right, so now you know who your right client is, you know your own strengths, and so now we just need to know how to get her attention, because now we can feel confident when this client comes to you, you can easily make her happy. Okay, so where we're going to start with figuring this out is knowing where she's spending her time online and in real life, okay? And a lot of this, like I said, works easiest when you already have clients who are the right client and then you're looking to attract more people like them. Pay attention to where she's going for dinners, where is she vacationing, where does she go for her spray tan, where is she shopping. These are all conversations that we have on the regular, so it should be pretty easy for you to start kind of compiling a profile of what this person looks like. Then in your content, and this is very important, I want you to write your posts and make your videos and post your stories speaking directly to her. We want to address her excitement, her, joy, but we also want to address her worries. What stresses her out about her hair? What makes her frustrated? What happens where she's just like, forget it, and puts on a hat and a bun? Like, we want to talk about these things because those are the things that are going to easily build trust with her and make her understand, like, hey, this is the hairstylist for me. In addition, we can also target her neighborhood or direct area by getting to know the other small businesses in that area and doing collaborations with them, partnering them with posts online, doing like email swaps, all kinds of things. So this is going to be a really great way to stay in her line of sight by being involved in the same like neighborhood events and businesses that she loves. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you are posting hair and visuals that are relevant to her. If you are trying to attract dimensional color clients, we don't need a ton of men's cuts on your feed, right? And this is very natural because sometimes we don't have a lot of the client that we want to post. So we feel kind of stuck posting these other things. But if you are looking to get more of this client, you could post different mannequin work. You could post different inspo photos, like giving credit to the original stylist, like I want to do more hair like this. You could just talk about in carousels, photos of you, photos of your studio. Like I was saying, her worries, her issues, sharing tips, etc., on why you love dimensional color and why it's a great fit for your clients and things like that. So don't get too in your head about needing to have these perfect visuals and feed. It's more important the quality of what you're posting versus the quantity or necessarily the visual. So just keep that in mind and understand that if you could only post 3 times that week, but those 3 posts speak right to her and they're very clear, that is going to be amazing. Okay. So give yourself some permission to specialize a little bit. Give yourself permission to maybe repel some different clients who aren't interested in what you want to do and step into your role as the CEO and the strategist behind your business. Like we got into business for ourselves because we wanted to build something that complemented us and where we could bring the absolute most value to our cities. This is how we are going to do that. Now, to know how to really nail your consultation with these clients and get their color tones perfect so their skin is glowing, watch this video next. It is all about skin undertones and really getting that perfect color for your clients every single time.